So we have the arterial pulse, the movement of the vasculature, and breath. These all determine the direction of flow. So that we have the cerebrospinal fluid moving in the subarachnoid space into the periarterial space, then mixing with the interstitial fluid, and then moving out of the parenchyma into the perivenous spaces, and then draining into the peripheral lymphatic system or recirculating back up into the brain to do another round. So glymphatics begin and are produced, cerebrospinal fluid is produced, glymphatics are produced in the choroid plexus. So we have that in the ventricles. So the lateral ventricle has a choroid plexus in the brain. The third ventricle and the fourth ventricle all have choroid plexuses that are producing cerebrospinal fluid. And so this is where the glymphatics begin. Then this is a slice into your head. And this is the bone on the top piece here on the left. And then the meninges, the bag that holds the central nervous system that we were talking about, is made out of 3 levels: the dura, the arachnoid, and the pia mater. And so the subarachnoid space, that is the one that goes between the arachnoid mater and the pia mater. That's where the cerebrospinal fluid is moving as it relates to glymphatics. So here on the right, we have the yellow, the subarachnoid space, the ventricles. So these are the places that the glymphatic fluid is moving, the cerebrospinal fluid is moving. So the cerebrospinal fluid follows the arteries into the brain. So here's the arteries. Cerebrospinal fluid follows the arteries into the brain so it can mix with the interstitial fluid in the brain, washing the brain. And then once it's done its wash, then it follows the venous system out. So this is a venous system. So typically in most parts of the bodies, the arteries and veins travel together. But in the brain, it's not like that. The veins and the arteries have very different distribution. And so both of them are important. And so you get a very comprehensive sort of wash of the brain when you're using different veins and arteries to move in that perivascular space with the glymphatic system. So when they're done with the wash, they're following the veins out. The glymphatic system either moves the fluid down into the lymphatic circulation in the neck, and then down into the chest, or it can recycle and it can move up back into the brain via this pontine cistern right here in front of the area just below the pons in the brainstem, and then continue up the basilar artery in the front of the pons, and then move into the circle of Willis, which then will separate out into the anterior, middle, and posterior cerebral arteries. And then we begin the work again.